Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Beyond the Battle, Pain, Pageants, and Perspectives, where we come to you on Monday evenings, aiming to bring you uplifting stories that will brighten your day and help you stay encouraged throughout the week. On today's show, we have a couple of the queens from the worldwide pageant system, Mrs. USA herself, and Susanna, one of the runner-ups. We want to talk to them and understand what they do for a living, what their platforms are, and their why. Why did they choose the platform they did? Why pageantry? Why now? So, we're going to find out about all the greatness that these ladies do within their communities and for their families. But before we get started, I want to tell you and share a little bit about my journey. I was also one of the queen contestants for Mrs. USA in the worldwide pageant system. And I want to tell you that I had a great time and I'm absolutely honored to have these two beauties on my show today so that you can understand their perspectives. I did place as the second runner up. So if this was the Olympics, I'd have come home with the bronze. And I'm absolutely just amazed at where I placed and proud of myself and these other ladies. I also want to thank each and every one of you that have supported me along my journey this far. It has been amazing. The inboxes that I receive from you, some of you guys have sent amazing, unexpected gifts, and I completely appreciate it. And I'm just overwhelmed with the amount of love and attention that you guys have all shown me. Just know that my journey is not over just yet. I still have plenty of time. But I do also want to take on and tell you guys about the job that I just took on. I just took on, it's a volunteer position with Facts Worldwide as their director of compliance and communication. What is compliance? Everybody asks what compliance is. We know that compliance is my middle name, whether it's healthcare compliance or business compliance, it's what I do. So what is it? Compliance is a job that makes sure that agencies or organizations stay within their local, federal, or state regulations. You ask, are there regulations for pageantry? Well, in many instances at the state level, there is. Did you know that in many states you have to have a license to own a pageant system? Well, you do. And so in that job, what I help to do is make sure that the mission, the purpose, all align with the communication being given to both potential delegates as well as how the delegates actually feel within the system. The message has to align across the platform to be within compliance, on top of paying your bills like you're supposed to and ensuring that the queens get the things that they are supposed to get from you and thus in return. So that's kind of what's been going on in my daily life. I have a few more surprises up my sleeve in the next couple weeks. But for now, let's do today. Let's bring Miss Andrea Bender to the stage. She is our Mrs. USA. Hello, Andrea. How are you?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so excited to be able to do a podcast. This is my very first podcast as Mrs. USA. So thank you so much.
Yay. Well,
Yes.
thank you. And we absolutely are blessed to have you on the stage. So tell us a little bit about you and what you do for a living.
Okay. Well, I am first, of course, Mrs. I am a wife. I've been married to my husband Dave for almost 14 years. I'm a mom to five wonderful children. We actually, part of my story is really dealing with infertility and being told we couldn't have children. And so we have two sets of twin boys and then a little girl that we adopted. So we have five kids. It's a wild ride. We call it Adventures in Benderland. And then on top of that, I'm a cycling coach. My husband and I started a cycling team over 10 years ago, which has developed into a nonprofit. Again, we'll talk a little bit more about that because that really is the influence to Cycle of Service, which is the platform that we promote. And then I am an ER nurse on top of that. So yeah, life is crazy. If you just throw everything on the plate. You know, when somebody is busy, you just say, hey, find the busiest person, they'll get the job done. So that's me.
Right. I love it. Well, so I learned something new. Fun fact, you're an ER nurse. Wow,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
amazing. Amazing, amazing. I am in love with the work that nurses do. It's one of the most underpaid, underappreciated jobs out there. So thank you for what you do and thank you for your service to our health and our country. That is so awesome. Of course, medicine has a special place to my heart because I'm a retired Army combat medic. So thank you.
Yes, you are the
So,
hero. You're not the heroes. You are the hero. Thank you for your service and all the servicemen and women and families, really, because they're the ones that give the ultimate sacrifice. So I appreciate them. I'm safe in my little ER zone. I love the crazy busyness of the ER, the quick care, critical thinking. That is my jam.
I love that. So tell me a little bit. So, what's the name of your platform? Tell us about your platform and what you do.
So my platform is called Cycle of Service, and it's shifting the focus to family, community, and service. And really, what we do is taking my family with me on this journey, and that's what is really the heart of what I want to do and continue to do and have done. And what we do is bicycle safety. So I take my husband and my children with me. We do a bunch of bicycle safety. We empower our youth through cycling. We have, like I said, my husband and I started a cycling team over 10 years ago. And so over the years, we have empowered hundreds of athletes through just riding their bike. And they learn those great skills of having a strong body, mind, character through that. The other thing that is a huge component of it is bicycle safety. I've gone into elementary schools. I have a sparkly helmet that was completely bedazzled. I take that in. I teach kids how to properly fit a helmet and teach them the importance of wearing a helmet. As a mom, as an ER nurse, and someone who's actually had a head injury herself, I understand wholeheartedly the importance of wearing a bicycle helmet. And to date, we have done bicycle rodeos where we have given over 1,000 free bike helmets to kids in the community. And so, yeah, at $30 a pop, that's almost $30,000 or over $30,000 of free bike helmets. So, I'm an Optimist member. And so, partnering with the Optimist Club, local police departments, and then if there's cycling teams or other community groups, we partner with them to get these events going in the community. So I know that there's already a couple, besides the ones that I've already been a part of, there are more that are ready to go next year. And then the kind of third part of the bicycle safety is really involving families and inspiring families. Like I said, I take my family with me on this journey. My kids do the bike rodeos. They teach other kids. They understand, actually, proud mommy moment. My kids are in 4-H and they showed at the county fair. And one of the projects was bicycle safety. And two of them showed about bicycle safety, and one of them got one of the merit awards. So that's kind of like the
Yeah.
judges and a favorite. So really emphasizing that it's not about me, it's creating that cycle of service where it's really generational. My parents taught me and really instilled the value of service in my heart, and I will continue that with my own children. So that's kind of just our little platform in a nutshell.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. That's really awesome. I just, think about back in the day, um, bike helmet, what? Who did that?
No.
And right. And coming from, like you said, somebody with a head injury, which I've had my fair share, the helmet and continued safety is very, very important. And I know that it is a big deal. We have our local PD out here. I live in a small little garden city, and our police department is very good on asking the kids if they have their protective gear when they're driving through and doing security checks. So, what you do is very important, and I appreciate you. So, you explained a little bit about your why, your platform, and how your family takes the journey with you. That is beautiful because you can't put a full S in service without the F in
Yes,
family.
right. Right.
I tried to make that make sense.
No, and I think that's something that's so important to me. I've competed in pageants for a long time, and I absolutely love the Mrs. program. And I think why is truly because the Mrs. is a married woman, and so
Right.
you have your significant other. My husband Dave supports me in every single thing that I do, and specifically with pageants. And so this is a we, and taking the kids on the journey too is so important. And that's what I absolutely loved about the Mrs. program is they really let you embrace that and run with it. And that's something specific too with the Mrs. USA and the worldwide organization, that service is truly the heart of the organization, which was actually part of my onstage question that I said, like, I hope you realize that this is really in my heart and this is who I am. So
I love that.
I
So
guess they did.
tell me your why for pageantry. Why did you choose pageantry? And you said that you've been doing pageantry for a little while now. So why pageantry? What is pageantry doing for you?
So pageantry really started when my cousin was like a little miss way back in the day. Now I'm 41, so this is like way back in the day. And we were all there were three of us girl cousins that were all baton twirlers, and baton twirling was kind of like a
Mhm.
set into pageants locally here in Wisconsin. And so that just kind of was its thing. But I stuck with it and did the Junior Miss program, now Distinguished Young Woman. And then I did Miss America Locals. And I paid for half of my college tuition as a nurse from scholarships with the Miss America organization. So that was a huge factor for me, and really gaining the community service, the public speaking. I and when I say I did pageants for a long time, I understand the value and understand the growth with a pageant. It
Mhm.
took 17 times to win a local in the Miss
Okay.
America. So I understand the aspect of being probably last place to winning and everything in between and how the emotions and everything. But I really believed that you learn from every opportunity. And so I always use that as something to propel me to the next, what was next. And
Mhm.
doing the pageant, and then, I took a big hiatus, obviously, when I got married. I did, this is like crazy. This is like, I still don't even know how I did it, but 4 months postpartum with a set of twins, my first set of twins, I competed in a Mrs. pageant.
Wow. Go ahead, Beth.
Was first runner up. And so that first runner up gave me that itch to go back, but it actually took me 7 years. And this is what I think my message to like all women, whether you're a teen, a miss, if you have any thought of doing a pageant or doing really anything in life, time is not guaranteed. So
Right.
do it. Just do it.
I love that.
There is no perfect time. I had a director messaging me every year, please enter, please enter, please enter. And it was, I'm trying to have a baby, or I just had babies, or I'm trying to have a baby. Well, we dealt with infertility for over 10 years. So a lot of that was just like, time is not right. Time is not right. Time is right. Not right. And I finally just pulled the plug and said, there is no good time. So I'm just going to do it. And I think the light switch on that was really, I have a chronic illness. I have Crohn's disease. So with the kind of GI tract, and I
Mhm.
had a life-saving surgery just over 3 years ago. I was so very sick, and that was kind of the light switch of, you don't know when, time is up. And so go for it. And I'm happy and healthy now. And, life is busy and chaotic, and the kids are busy. My husband's busy, but that's okay. We just keep going.
Team Bender. Team
Yes.
Bender. I love it. I absolutely love it. So we have a comment from Genevieve. Genevieve says, "Great job, Queens. It was wonderful to see you both. I'm so glad to have the opportunity to share inspiring stories and platforms with everyone." Well, we love you too,
Yes.
Genevieve. And we would like to have you come on the show at a later date to talk about what comes next in the future and what you have on your plate. So we love to speak with you a little bit later. Thanks for tuning in, babe. So now let's bring on Susanna. Hey, friend, how are you?
Hi, beautiful ladies. I'm doing good.
Good. Thank you for joining us. So, start off by telling us a little bit about who you are and what you do for a living, because you do something pretty exciting for a living, also.
So thank you so much for having me tonight. And I'm happy to tell my story and what inspired me in life and how I inspire other people. I'm originally from Ukraine and been in the United States for 10 years. I am a musician. I got married a year ago, so we're just fresh married still. As I said, I am a musician and I dedicate my life to music. I raise a new generation of musicians in the United States. And I dedicate a lot of my time to young musician coaching, giving master classes, performing, and inspire kids to, discover the beautiful world of classical music and bring some more new talents to this world. So this is my mission.
I love that. And I was blessed to hear you sing backstage, which was absolutely amazing. Andrea, you were taking photos.
I know, I missed it.
It was beautiful. I was somewhere in my underwear changing to go meet my family. And I was like, what is this? What is this I hear? I go take off around the corner and wow, blown away. So thank you for what you do. And, I can attest to, I played the viola growing up. I have an electric viola now that I love to play when I get a chance. And so I understand the critical thinking and the different mind movements that music brings especially when your brain is growing. So thank you for that. So tell us a little bit about your platform.
So my platform that I represented, Mrs. Worldwide, was Benefits in Action. I can be honest, I just joined this organization less than a year. For 8 years, I was running Global Musical Bridges nonprofit organization that I became the first Ukrainian female producer who signed a contract with Hollywood. For 8 years, I was CEO and founder. It's a lot of responsibilities. And my English was very limited. In a year, I was signing on English contracts and I had to learn English. So I was like, okay, welcome to America. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. So 8 years, I was organizing international competitions, staging big concerts. They were sponsored by Hollywood, So met a lot of wonderful musicians from all over the world. But the last 2 years really changed my life. First event that turned probably 180 degrees my life. When I came to United States, nobody expected me here. Nobody was waiting for me here. I came to Colorado 4 months after I saved $400. I bought a ticket and I flew to Los Angeles with no money, nothing. I just could pay $350 and $50 were in my pocket as an international student. And my friend said, oh, well, I don't know, you probably will be homeless. I said, well, probably not. I had a dream. I want to be famous. I had a dream to be famous. So Hollywood and Los Angeles was a perfect place to go. I didn't know anyone. My English was limited. In a year, I became a producer, signed a contract. I play on Hollywood Boulevard, make my first money as a street musician. And a few years after, I became a Grammy musician who make appearance with John Legend on the Grammy stage and met all the celebrities and got the recognition by Academy Award. Well, the dream came true. It was a hard work, But then one day, COVID started. And there was kind of a little bit a difficult time for everyone, especially entertainment business. Music stages were shut down. My big roles in opera were canceled. My visa was canceled. My green card was canceled because of COVID. I couldn't prove anything that I am still extraordinary talented musician who had O1 visa here. And I came back to Colorado just to stay with my friend and teach kids, you know. My other education beside music is PhD in psychology and education. So I decided to use another talent to teach kids while the kids were out of schools and they need some teachers who would come at home and teach them. So I used the skills to make my living. And then a few months after, I became famous, appearing on the Grammy stage. And I got married, you know, and another event that really changed 360 degrees from my desires to be super famous to sing maybe the biggest opera roles in the world were not so important for me anymore when my family, it's my 88 years old grandma, my mom in her 60s, and my aunt had to escape Odessa city in Ukraine from the bombing and missiles, a big house, pets, everything they had. I said, Mom, you have 10 hours till the curfew. You just take all the documents and you escaping until you can reach the border.
Right.
It was a miracle. They joined me here in the United States as refugees, you know.
I love that.
And I saw how my family lost their weights, you know, they were in depression. My brother is right now serving in army. He's 24 years old, young boy who turned gray hair, you know. Yeah. It's not easy. I respect that he took this, you know, responsibility to stay and protect the country.
Right.
But I really worry about him. He's my beloved one brother, you know, only one guy who left in Ukraine.
Did you hear from him again?
From Ukraine, from Odessa city. Yeah, it's on the Black Sea, close to Sochi. It's like Bulgaria, this type of south part of Black Sea. You know, so I joined Benefits in Action for a reason. I kind of stopped giving like 100% of my time for music, you know, I still do it. But important for me was when my family faced like a simple basic necessities in the United States, as a Medicaid, food stamps, help with cost of living, you know, and other things. So I joined Benefits in Action because they do wonderful things and they serving community no matter you're a refugee or you're an immigrant or you're a citizen who have a lack of financial, you know, support or a job. So every week I go with volunteers. I'm taking my students who are musicians and I teach them how to put food in the boxes, and we deliver these food boxes to families who signing because they need help. And it's nice to meet I met a lot of veterans, you know, like older people. And it's nice to share the story, sometimes come as a Mrs. Ukraine and tell them that beside of helping the local community, I also represent the beauty pageant and my country. So I'm glad I can help local people.
Well, I applaud the courage and strength that your brother has put on display by protecting the Ukraine, his family, and his community. That takes a lot of strength and honor. So I thank him for what he is doing, and you, beautiful, for the support and the strength that it must take every single day, knowing what he's doing. So, wow.
We're just praying for him. We're just praying for him that he is on the front line. Yesterday, he joined just the front line, the dangerous part of Ukraine.
Okay. So we'll keep him uplifted in prayer every day. He is on my heart and my mind, and we'll keep him uplifted every day. So now tell us, I know that was heavy, but tell us, why pageantry? Why pageantry for you?
The first, of course, it's not my first pageant that I joined. It was funny. I lived in Los Angeles, and I never consider myself like, like a beautiful woman who has to go like fashion shows and pageants. I don't know. Maybe that time I really need to work on my self-esteem, you know. And I sang first time American national anthem. Oh, say, can you see? And someone posted it on Facebook with my accent, and I got a message. Hey, beautiful lady, can you please open and start the opening ceremony of international pageant in Los Angeles? I say, oh, this is honor for me. If you like my Ukrainian accent, I would love to sing national anthem. You know what? I joined after months. I agreed to perform. I actually competed with 72 countries, 72 girls, a huge pageant. And I represented Ukraine. It was 2016, 8 years ago, as a Miss Ukraine. For me, it was honor, to represent my country, also sing national anthem. They put me in school, modeling school for 6 months. It was a great experience, learning dining etiquette, meeting beautiful Miss Universe who were coaching us. So it was great experience. After that, I didn't win, but I was grateful for opportunity to look at myself as a beautiful woman that time. And then I compete another pageant, more like a fitness. And when I saw this pageant, and me and my husband Andrew, we read more about what this Mrs. Worldwide mission is about, serving the community, celebration of marriage, traditional family. I was like, oh, we've been married for a year. Will be a nice idea to go and bring the family and spend a beautiful few days with the family together, meeting beautiful women, to tell my story again, remind about my country, Ukraine. I am not a crazy patriot, but I am a patriot because I love my country and I wish the best for Ukraine, especially right now.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing. So when we talk about, because both of you have platforms that encompass children, when you're out doing your work, when you're out and you're putting your crown to work, what are some of the things that you feel are the most important? Like, I understand instilling service, and that's bringing them out there. But what are some of the things that you hope that your children or the children that you're working with are really picking up from you, that they're really learning from you during these different events?
You want me to? I can go.
Yep.
So I want children to know that they can do it too. That's one of the things that I was just like them. We're all different. We all bring different things to the table that makes us special. And so to really engage on that and let that come forward. I also want kids to know that we all overcome obstacles, and an obstacle doesn't define who we are. And so if we get stuck in a certain obstacle, that can change how things are going to go. So if I always worried about infertility, and was just stuck on that, I mean, that's not what I would talk about with kids, but whatever their obstacle is. And don't get over that hurdle. You are more than anything that is an obstacle. That does not define who you are. So those are kind of the biggest things. And I also like being relatable, not necessarily to kids, but really to people in the public in general. So one of the big things that I always focus on is knowing the event that I'm going to. So for example, I did a national night out, and that is very casual. So I don't like going to events wearing a sequin gown or dress and high heels if it is at a park and I could go play with the kids and I could relate to people and especially other women, because a lot of times, even today, I was at an amusement park with my kids, and I pulled out the banner for the sash for a picture, and there were 4 little girls. They were when I talked to them, they were in 5th grade and 7th grade, and they I could see them whispering and looking, and they were nervous to say something, and they're like, "You're so pretty," but I don't want people to think you're so pretty and that's all they think of me. I want them to know there's more to just the look. It's what substance you have, what do you have to offer, what are you doing in your community? That is really important.
I love that. What about you, Susanna?
As being a teacher, who is teaching kids and inspiring them to take a stage and perform, doing a public performances, you have to be brave to do this, especially the kid who is doing it first time. When I appear in a crown and a sash and start talking to schools, I made a lot of appearances in the schools, colleges. I did a lot of motivation speeches to immigrant students who are learning English as a second language. And I told them my story when I was a student and I was learning English. And now I'm representing as a Grammy musician, as a Mrs. Ukraine, taking other stage of my life. I think it's important not only to bring this beauty. I like high heels. I like to dress up classy, probably the kind of European thing. But beside that, I tell how important to set up goals in life. From being a street musician to become a Grammy musician. And set up high goals and move the goals higher and higher and achieve them. Because I said, listen, I represent myself, of course, as Susanna Iglidan, but I'm also representing at Mrs. Worldwide, my country, my nation, all people, whatever you're looking on the news right now, you need to see in me intelligence, education, the morals I have, the values I have, and this is who I am, this is what I stand for, and this is kind of the criteria that young people need, especially with mass media, influence of all these gadgets we have and internet. I keep telling them that's important to set up high goals, and no matter what your age is, you have to achieve a small step by step. I wouldn't be today who I am today if I would not walk the long path to this success.
Right. If you'd have listened to your friend that told you were going to be homeless, you might be somewhere else, right?
Exactly. It's a choice. We're making a choice. I had a lot of interesting offers back in Los Angeles, but I was thinking what this choice is going to benefit me tomorrow. It's going to make me being honorable woman or will destroy me.
Right. And we all have that choice. So we, as Mrs., I've been doing my research into several different systems. I want to tackle as many as I can as I'm working through this new role with Facts Worldwide. I'm trying to get into the little nuances of pageantry. And so what I'm noticing is and I'm maybe it's always kind of been this way and I just missed it. But there is a trillion Mrs. The Ms. But there aren't many Mrs. There are not as many married women, especially not married with children. Why do you believe that is so?
I don't necessarily. I think there's a lot of pageants just in general, and I don't know if women feel like, and well, I can say I think I know that women feel like that. We don't take the time for ourselves, and we pour it into everyone else. And that was one thing I realized too when I was really sick, is that I wasn't investing in myself. I was not as good of a wife. I was not as good of a coworker. I was not as good of a mom when I was pouring into everybody else's cups, and I wasn't pouring into mine. And so I made changes and poured into my cup and everybody else's cup. And I was better in across the board. And so I think that is part of women don't see that in themselves, or other women don't tell other women. We don't take the time to tell women, other women, they're beautiful, or that, yeah, momming is hard. Oh my gosh, every single day you are doing a marathon. Like sometimes I feel like I'm putting in a full day's work just to get the kids on the bus by 7 a.m. And then I go to work in the ER for 12 hours. Like we are, like, life is hard on top of charity work and everything else that we do is crazy. Oh, we're going to have quick here. I have a 130-pound dog. It was going to say, let's see if he's going to come into the screen here. He's trying to come say hi. But he made me lose my train of thought. But I think that there are a lot of Mrs. pageants. There's a lot of pageants in general. So this might be your next question, but I would say the biggest thing for me is do your research. Research. Find women that have competed in that pageant before. Talk to the director. Look at what the rules are, what the regulations are. What is the expectation? You have to find what is good for you and what aligns with your thoughts, your values, and that's what you should do. And if that system, say you try it and it's not for you, then try something else and learn from it. And I can say that wholeheartedly, like, been there, done that. And and that was one thing. Again, the service is what really was the clincher for me in this organization, and really talking with Ellen during, really, like, I think I interrogated her. For I think an hour and a half the first time I actually was on the phone with her.
Good. What about you, Susanna?
That's actually, I like what you said about amount of Miss compared to Mrs. When I first time just posted on my social media and announced my page as a fan page for being Mrs. Ukraine, and my friend called me and say, "Oh, I'm so proud of you. I am so happy to see that you are dressing nice. You going for this. It's a hard job to wear a crown and compete for the crown. I'm glad that you not only got married, but not only, like, a lot of women just wear the pajama at home, eating at 10 p.m., gaining weight, no more makeup, no dates." I say, wait, stop a second. There was a question for the judges who had to write about us, and there was a statement like, "If you will win, what's your statement?" And I was thinking, like, gave me a couple of days to think, and then I was like, okay, so my statement will be, if I win or I don't win, whatever, I'm not without craziness. I'm taking it another experience in my life. In case of anything, if someone will ask me, I will say, while other women deciding if they are beautiful enough to become a pageant girls, I want to represent these women so I can inspire them to look at themselves in the mirror, to find themselves a beautiful, attractive Mrs. wives, married women, that they can do it. They have to believe in themselves. So I want to inspire them.
Good. I love that. I really love that. I think that when I noticed is that I like sharing. I love sharing about being I love suggesting that other women be in a pageant. And when you see them and they look at you and they're like, especially when you're wearing your crown and your sash, and they're like, wow, because you have so much to offer the world. There is so much that you have. You have such a big voice that the community needs to hear, and they need to see you and hear you. You have something that might change somebody's life. So I absolutely love that. So Andrea, you've already kind of said Do your research. That's a big deal. Do your research, because every system is not going to be for every queen. And there's a lot of pageant systems out there, as we've said before. And so when we are, just like in the rest of the world, there's a lot of stuff going on. What do you do when you are backstage and you're getting some of those microaggressions? We all know that people tend to put us in a little box and say, well, women are catty, women are mean. What do you do backstage? Because I know we all have to be in our right headspace when it's time for competition. It is a competition, regardless. I love all of you ladies, but you know what I mean? So what do you do, or, how do you combat some of those microaggressions that you might get from, because we know that there's a little bit of bullying out there. So what do we do?
I can say, so again, competing on so many different levels from being a teenager to an adult, do you see stuff across all areas? Yes. One thing I do really appreciate, though, in the misses is we already know who we are. We're not trying to be anybody else. So like we're already in our lane. It's just, I think, the heightened of the actual competition that can rattle different women. And so I can say for this program specifically, so I've been to a national pageant before. That pageant, I was hyped up as, you can win, you're going to win, blah, blah, blah. And so my brain was on, I don't care. I don't need to know any of these women. I'm there to win. And this pageant, I completely changed my perspective. Now, was my goal still to win? 100%. Like, I am 100% honest that yes, that was the ultimate goal for me. But my perspective changed as far as, I want to know who these women are. These are going to be like-minded women doing amazing things. These women are my people. These are what we're looking for. When you're at a level where you're doing all this community service and nonprofit, where you can really network with so many incredible women throughout the country and the world, like, utilize them. Like, the opportunities can really be endless. And so my perspective changed as I wanted to get to know people. I wanted to really chat with people and know a little bit about them. Some obviously more than others, just because you're only there for a certain amount of time. But then when it came to competition, I have competed again for a lot of pageants and many years, but I stay focused and try to push off anything that I hear or see, any drama backstage. I stay in my lane during the actual competition. So when it's not the actual competition, I am, chatty, whatever, but I have like note cards of what specifically, down to the nitty gritty of, I'm rolling my shoulders back, I'm keeping my arms in, my facial expressions, just like those cue reminders of, because I'm like Miss Social Butterfly. I'm going to be chatting away backstage, and then time to go on, I'll be like, oh, what are you doing? So I need to have those cues in my head. So kind of a long answer to your thing, but we're misses. Like,
we tend to act like it.
Yes.
What about you, Susanna?
I like what Andrea said about perspective, importance. The perspective, your expectations, how you see. I think, I don't know about the girls who are doing it first time, they probably don't know what to expect. They don't know how the pageant is going to go. Girls who already did some pageants, they know there can be drama, and some girls are breaking crowns. I saw some things, in my Miss time. I was like, this is a shame. So I think importance of pageant is starting not the crowning moment on stage. When the first time you sign the contract, you officially entering the pageant and you're wearing the crown and a sash. This is the moment when you need to understand you are chosen. First you choose
Mhm.
to join. Second, you are the chosen one. Third, you represent not only yourself, but the country or state or the city or the area where you live. Yeah.
Right.
Whatever pageant you join, you're representing something. Even my husband, I don't want my husband to be ashamed for me fighting with someone after the crowning. I take the responsibility to represent. So this time, whatever, it's like 6 months before pageant, few weeks before pageant, you enter. This is the time to set up the values of your participation, why you do this, what's your goal. Yes, every girl who going to the pageant, she wanna be the queen, and it's wonderful it's happened. But if it's not happened, you are second winner up like me, or you just thank you for coming and participating, you still have the crown. You have the crown, you can put it in your resume. You represented this year as a miss or mrs a state, country, and it's who you are, how valuable. When I look at the royal families, and I love to look at the royal family, I learn a lot about this, how they represent, how they behave, the behavior, and
Mhm.
it always, sometimes like, how can I be angry? How I can lose the control? If I am Mrs. Ukraine, they will call me for interview. How am I gonna represent? And someone will show a video how I'm fighting, pulling someone's crown. I don't want that to happen. I wanna have my honorable name. So I think it's important for any girl, as an advice from me. If you decide to join the pageant,
Agree.
start teaching yourself, start behaving, teach yourself to be an honorable girl or woman, yeah, to keep your name and represent yourself, no matter if someone is looking at you on the spotlight on stage or backstage when nobody sees you.
I love that. When I was growing up, that is a great big dog. Boy or girl.
Cute. He's a boy. It's
Hey,
Dumbo.
I put my small dog outside, so he is not in camera.
When I was when I was very, very young, my grandmother, my dad's mom, used to tell me all the time, don't let that uniform wear you. You better wear that uniform, basically telling me to take control of what I wear. There's a difference between, appearing somewhere and wearing something. And she would always remind me, when you go into this family, at the end of the day, people know my name. Don't make me come get you. Don't make me come get you. And I always remember that at the end of the day, I want to make sure if I'm not doing anything else, that I'm representing my family's name well. And for the most part, we want to be decent and great leaders, role models for those around us. So with just a few minutes left, we'll start with you, Andrea. Give your words of advice or your perspective view on whatever you want for the audience today. This is your moment.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That's so much. No, kind of going on to what we were just talking about. I was just, well, in our case, we had the Mrs. USA and Mrs. Worldwide. So there were 3 title holders crowned. And again, I've been in every situation from, probably last place to being that first runner-up spot, and winning. And so it's really learning and growing and how you react to that situation that really matters and can reflect. Every single woman on that stage should be incredibly proud of themselves. I always say different day, different outcome. That's the reality, and that's the truth with pageants. They're subjective opinions. Sorry, he just wants to be pet. And so when you get those subjective opinions, that's also part of it that you don't know, what could happen. But on an exciting note, I was thinking of, because I'm crazy and why not? I've been thinking of a Mrs. USA bucket list. like, what can I accomplish this year? So if you have listeners out there, which I'm sure you do, because I know Genevieve is on, or you guys, I would love for people to send me some like crazy bucket list ideas or what I should do as Mrs. USA. So that would just be kind of a fun thing and see what I can accomplish, because I think the possibilities are endless. And the worst people can say is no. So if you don't try and you don't ask, you're never going to know. So just go for it. I mean, that's been kind of my like theme for a lot of things, is just go for it. The worst they can say is no. And okay, then.
Your life hasn't changed any, right?
Oh, no. I went to work on Monday morning, and after the pageant, I was sick for like a week, I think.
Me too.
I think we probably all in close quarters and traveling from all over, probably all got each other sick, but it's okay. Life goes on, and kids start school in like 2 weeks. Yay to all the moms.
Mine go back tomorrow.
I was going to say a bunch are already going back and have gone back around here, but Wisconsin kids start after Labor Day. So we did all of our school supplies and all of that craziness. So I always say, I'm just like you, everyone, like you can do it too. Be a Mrs., do a pageant, because it's awesome. It's amazing. And there's so many opportunities that really open up with it.
Thank you for that. What do you have for us, Miss Susanna?
So I want to address for all women. I am sure the most is the audience is women.
Yeah.
Maybe some men. Well, if you're a man, so I will have advice for you too. So for women first, if you had experience competing in pageant or you never competed, I think you should try. When you wake up without makeup and beautiful dress, just look at yourself in the mirror and start from that moment saying yourself, I love myself because I'm worthy a lot for everything what I do for my family. If you're married or you're single, I'm sure you have a lot on your bucket list and your goals in life, and you know that the price for you is high. So when you look at yourself and you say that you're proud of yourself and you love yourself, then people will start love you and be proud of you. And take this experience entering pageant and competing without craziness, with respect to other people and respect to yourself, because you don't know what tomorrow brings to you. And maybe tomorrow will change your life. Like my life was changed when they invited me singing national anthem.
Right.
So I enter a pageant and I never regret this. So for a man, if you're not planning to join pageant, try something, set up high goals and achieve them, because life running so fast, and one day you look at yourself, you're 40s, and then you're 60s, and then one day you're saying to your grandkids, I am happy I never missed this opportunity to try something in my life that benefit me and open another perspective of myself, who I am. So fight for your life, fight for yourself, and enjoy, because it's a beautiful opportunity to live and inspire other people with our stories.
Oh my gosh, you guys are both amazing. Thank you both for what you do in your community. Thank you for pouring into me, and thank you for pouring into my listeners. We really enjoyed having you on the show, and we'll have to have you back, Mrs. USA, to see what things that you were able to accomplish on that bucket list. So if you were listening, my friends, Mrs. USA, Andrea Bender, send her some ideas that she can put on her bucket list to do before the end of her year's reign. Until next time, ladies, until I see you again.
Oh, and Dunbar says goodbye too.
See you later, Dunbar. Well, friends, thank you for tuning in for another fabulous day, Monday night, if you will, with the Beyond the Battle Pain Pageants and Perspectives. Again, where we come to bring you uplifting stories and to brighten your day and remind you that you are not on this struggle bus by yourself. Each one of us has a tale, a daily battle or struggle that we are enduring, and these stories remind us that we are not alone. Today's guest talked about the number of things that they overcame, whether it was coming from another country, a war-torn country, or starting, the cycling coaching, and all the things that go with it, with the infertility and many different things. Neither of my two guests, Susanna or Andrea, stopped going. They found a new purpose to get them where they were going when they set their goals. So stay positive, keep going. And as we heard from both of our guests today, try something new. Don't forget to be kind to one another. Don't forget to love one another. And just remember, you're not alone. Until next Monday on Beyond the Battle, Pain, Pageants, and Perspectives, I'll see you soon. Ciao.